welcome to the show Sussan Treschow, producer of Jana, and Henrik Björn, showrunner, writer, and director. And do you see what type of water we have on stage?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, the perfect branding.
This is a great idea for sponsorship. Exactly,
Have you talked to them, or?
Yes, you should talk to them.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty good in Croatia. So maybe they can help out. We're not going to talk about season 2 yet. Let's keep that for the rest of the conversation. And I talked to these guys earlier, and I joked. Well, I wasn't actually joking, that I'm not going to say Jana for the rest of this interview. I'm going to say Jonna. Jonna. So next time I buy myself this water, I'm going to say Jonna. So nobody's going to know. Jonna. Good. So, did you like the show?
Great.
Good. Well, you have to say it now because they're on stage.
What can they say?
Yeah. Well, you never know. Croatian people and, well, you know, NEM people are specific.
Okay.
So let's start with the fact that this story has been very well known around the world. It sold 3 million copies, and I'm talking about the novel by Emily Sheps. Yes. And so when you got the task of doing it for the big and the small screen, actually, how challenging was it, you know, to have that storyline that is very, very familiar to a lot of people and making it interesting for the screen? It's a question for both of you.
Yeah.
So Sussan, if you want to start.
Yeah, first I will say that the books are fantastic. They're very good, and of course it's very difficult to make a character change her from the book until the screen, and we had a lot of discussions. Henrik and Felix, who is the other director, they found a good solution.
Yeah, it's every time you adapt something, everyone who reads a book, they create their own story, and their own movie, and their own cast and everything. So it's very hard to be better than that. But
basically, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is your version of that book.
This is our version, but we hope that the 4 million people who read the book will
that
enjoy.
They're going to agree with you.
A first good sign is when the main cast was announced. Madeleine Martin, who plays Jana, Emily Sheps' fans. She has really active fans on Instagram and social media. They really supported the choice of Jana. That was exactly how they imagined her. So that was a good start. But I think also the books is page turners. You can't stop reading.
Yes.
So that was something that we wanted to bring to the series, to sort of, you want to see the next scene, the next act, the next episode, the next season, hopefully.
Hopefully, exactly,
So we try to do a page turner kind of visualization of this. So we'll see if people think we succeeded, but I'm pretty happy with it, actually.
Yeah, but I think we did one genius thing. Just to
Only
take,
one?
Only one.
Yeah, we did a lot of them, but but we did one genius thing that was to bring a sister into her life.
Oh, the sister is not in the book.
She's not existing in the book.
Oh.
Yeah, and we did this together with Emilie Shepp. She was also thinking that it was a good idea to make all her thoughts get out of the head into another person. If you understand what I mean. So yeah.
So in all her books, we are often inside Jana's mind. And also quite often in the mind of the perpetrator before we know who he or she is. So that's really hard to film. Either we need a voiceover, or we need a doll, or I don't know.
Exactly.
So we invented the sister, but the sister has another function. That's also that Jana can show other sides of herself. You know, the loving. Jana is caring. She's adopted into this family, obviously, so they don't have to look alike. We wanted a yin and yang situation. The younger sister is more happy-go-lucky party girl, quite spoiled, a brat, but with a big heart.
A bit annoying at the beginning.
Annoying, but as the story develops, I think we tend to love her more and more. And Jana, who has been traumatized and been through a lot of stuff that we noticed already in the first episode, needs to open up her heart for her little sister. So a lot of good functions. So that's one example. The best one, you think, that we did. But maybe
Sorry.
also that they are mentioning a psychologist at the end of the episode that become more important later on. That's also, instead of being inside Jana's head, they can talk about her experiences.
So you got to play with a lot of new different elements in comparison to the book. But how difficult, I mean, the whole show is based, as we all know, the name of the show tells us everything, that the main character is the key part of this whole story. How difficult was it to get that character, you know, the right person to do Jana, from a physical aspect, from psychological aspect, visualization? How was that process?
We had a long casting process, and both Felix and Henrik actually casted a lot of the actors. We looked for a girl that had an international touch, that was physically strong, because she's doing a lot of the stunts herself, and had a mysterious personality. And when we found Madeleine, it felt quite right.
We met a lot
of
of great actresses, and we were close sometimes, but we never really sort of nailed it together. But then when we filmed Madeleine for the first time, I was so happy, because I just signed this woman. She is Jana.
You knew at the beginning of the process?
The first casting process, so we had to now let her meet the other actors and so on. So, and also I remember when she came out of the first session with hair, makeup, and wardrobe.
That was so
and
good.
she come out of this room, and we were like, yes,
That's
there
it.
she is, there she is. And also we wanted a fresh face that hasn't been in a lot of Netflix and big things, but also experience, because as you say, the name is Jana, so on the show, so this is like casting James Bond for James Bond.
Exactly.
I think it's 80% of all the scenes she's in front of the camera. So it's a heavy weight for her, not only in dramatic scenes and emotions, it's also a lot of fighting and stuff that comes later on. You have seen it, so you know.
Yes, very physical role.
She's coming through a lot. She has this like sort of a born identity background. She can't really remember her first 10 years, as we hint on here. So as the story develops, it's very demanding. So Madeleine Martin had done a lot of roles, but not the big one. So she's fresh face but experienced. She's been boxing, so she's strong, and then I think she's also has a little quirky humor that's good for this series.
No, definitely. So, and I think that you said she's a female James Bond, but I thought of, when I was watching the show, it was La Femme Nikita or Lisbeth Salander from the Millennium Trilogy. I mean, my impression is that I could not remember the last time that we had such a powerful female lead on TV since, I don't know, 90s or maybe early 2000s. And I think that is very refreshing.
Cool.
Yeah, to have something like that.
And Lisbeth Salander, if you know her, but she's like this computer hacker thing, and she almost, that's what she do.
And she looks very differently.
Yeah, exactly. But Jana has all these, she can be really beautiful, as we see, but she can also be very gritty and dangerous and violent.
Yeah.
And she can be tough. And she can be fragile. And also, when we meet her in the beginning, you see this is an intellectual woman. She's been studying to prosecute her. She handles herself in all kind of rooms. So I think she's a very interesting character in a way that she doesn't need, drugs or alcohol or a man to work. She does it because she's strong in herself. So I really, I like to I'm interested in knowing more as an audience. I hope that
she looks like a real lady, but she fights like a cowboy. So and I think that's a good combination. And I think that what she did for me personally in terms of fashion, I rediscovered headscarves. Because it was snowing a couple of days ago, and I remember Jana is always wearing a headscarf, so I'm going to do it the same. It didn't look the same though. I'm still working on it, but hey, small steps. As you could see in the first episode, but it goes on and on. It's very. I watched it at night, late at night, home alone, and I was scared at one point that I would have the same reaction when I was, reading the novels by Jon Esbo, which made me creeped out totally. I one time actually I pulled two of my chairs up against my doors. I don't know why, to save me from somebody who's going to come in and kill me. I didn't have that with this show. It's very tense, but I feel safe all the time. How difficult was it to balance those two things?
We talk a lot about, because the story is dark. The children that kill grown-ups and they die, and they harvest containers from the bottom of the sea with dead people and so on and so forth. It's a dark story.
Don't spoil the show.
Eventually it happens. So our goal is to entertain. This drama series should entertain the audience, and entertain has almost been an ugly word when it comes to drama. But entertaining doesn't need to be funny. It just have to be. You have to be, nailed to the screen. So I think we have found a balance where there's some quirky humor. There's some sort of almost romance. There's the family trouble, sort of. Comic relief, and then there's darkness. So, and I think it works quite well. So it's not a feel-good thing. You shouldn't see it.
No,
I mean, when people are murdered or so, it's quite gritty.
Yeah.
But there's other aspects. So I think, as all humans, Jan is complex, and our stories has also layers,
exactly.
which I like. So in a way, this is a Nordic noir that has been developed. I mean, the world is dark enough as it is right now in the real world. So let's entertain people.
Exactly.
We borrow your brains and your eyes for 6 episodes in the first season, so we're going to give something back.
Exactly. We talked about it earlier, Sussan. We know about Nordic noir very well in this part of Europe, of course, and it's really, it's amazing. But this show is different. You did mix it up a bit. Why? It's much faster. The storyline is much faster. It's much more dynamic.
It's more entertaining.
No, I mean, it's not like the other ones are dull. No. This is just, it has a totally different tempo. Is it for the younger audience or?
No, I think it was, I don't think we thought of it to be for the younger audience. It's for all people, actually.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think we work with 2 cameras. We work with the tempo in the pictures also. So it helped. I think I need your help on this.
Yeah, but I mean, Nordic noir is a broad genre. People love it. The bridge and the killing and so on and so forth. Even my own Jordskott that I did a couple of years back. But we want to push the envelope. We want to do something new. We want to show that this can also be Nordic noir. It's for a broad audience. The audience is out there. They want to see the bridge or whatever. They're waiting for it. So if we can do it with a sharp execution for a broad audience, that was our goal. So to try to, the quality on this screening wasn't the best, but it's
the quality is
So if my photographer has seen this picture,
well,
but
he
anyway,
wouldn't be too happy.
It's a high-end quality into. So one thing a word that comes to my mind often is it's luxurious. It's a luxurious journey.
Yes.
It's a good-looking TV series in a way.
And you know, when people hear, oh, we have this new series and it's from Sweden, people have very high expectations. So, in one way that's good because you have very good vibe and very good image, and but then on the other side you really have to fill in a lot of large shoes. At the same time, you don't want to get people disappointed.
For sure.
So it's not.
But that's great.
I mean, yes, it is. It's very challenging. So we're completely running out of time. They wrote time twice with exclamation point. Okay, the final question. So the logical thing that was on my mind, and it's going to be on their minds after they watch the whole season, is there going to be season 2?
Yeah.
I love your poker faces. Or is that a question for you or for Wanda? You still have your microphone with you. Maybe we could use that. No. Well, we're going to say maybe.
We would say we would love to.
Story.
We would. Okay,
we would
good.
love to.
I would love to. So no pressure, Wanda.
So we have one viewer.
You have one?
Check.
Yeah, definitely. Check. I'm done. He actually, he was so generous before this interview, he offered me a role.
As a corpse?
For if season 2 happens. He said, of course. Guess which one?
Yeah.
Murdered Body by the River. I just get to lie down and somebody's going to zip me up in a bag and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, and I gave you so much support for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job, and hopefully we'll see you back here for season 2. Please give it up for Sussan Treschow, the producer, and Henrik Björn, showrunner, writer, and director.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.